Hi, this is audio journal number one, and me and David, I'm Jordan, but me and David are talking on the topic of why we have three guitars and the problem we have sometimes with only when we have only two guitar parts. So I'll send it over to Dave to start it off.
Um, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can look at this. I think that in the whole process of writing songs and stuff, I think that when you first bring the song together as a band to practice it, I think it makes the effort on the whole band a lot easier when everybody practices individually. That way, after let's say a week or two, or maybe even longer, depending on what kind of song you're playing, that way when you come together as a band, pretty much hopefully all you have to do is basically produce it, make sure their timing's right, make sure that the rhythm or the beat for the drummer sounds good, and then basically you should have your song.
Yeah, I totally agree with David. Uh, Having three guitar parts isn't exactly a problem if you all practice individually. Basically, we write three guitar parts because we have three guitarists, and we don't want to have two guitars playing the same thing. But in general, we think that in the end, with three guitar parts, it always sounds so much better. And if you're well practiced and know exactly what the hell you're doing, you go in there and it sounds awesome. Just awesome, man.
Yeah, I agree. It just sounds unbelievable when once you have it perfected in the way you want it. Um, but like I said before, you have to practice and stay on top of your game. You can't just practice like with your band. Like let's say you practice once a week. That's not enough. If you really want to learn this song and you're serious about your whole band and serious about the song, you have to practice individually every day. I know that when our band first got together, we had to learn that, as long as probably all the other famous bands out there, like famous guys like Metallica and Limp Bizkit and all those guys. They don't just come together and hey, let's write a song, and it just doesn't just come together. They have to practice it individually and make it up.
Yeah, Dave, that's you couldn't be more right. But uh, now on the topic of, you might ask us, well, why do you have three guitar parts? Why don't you just have two guitars playing the same thing? Or why do we have to have so many parts? Basically, I think that's a dumbass question. You know, having two guitars play the same thing is a waste of a guitar. I said it before, it's a waste of a guitar. And basically, we write three parts because we damn well want to, and that's that, you know. It's our choice. And if we want to make it sound better, we'll do what we want to do.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like people would say, well, why don't you have two guitars playing the same thing? Well, I mean, I'm not going to mention any specific names, but it really almost gets to me when I'm watching TV or whatever, I'm watching a concert, and let's say just these two ordinary guys are just goofing around on a guitar, you know? It just doesn't sound the same to me. Like it doesn't sound as good when you're playing the same thing. I think it sounds so much better with a riff or solo over top of what you're playing. I mean, it's one of those things that really gets to me sometimes because I don't know. I mean, if you have a verse that I firmly believe that verses especially should have. If you have two guitarists, especially you should have. I think the two guitarists playing different things. If you have three guitarists, I mean that's what we do still. But I think that if you have, for us, I know in a couple songs we'll have our verses for all three of us, myself, Jordan, and Ben, and we get to the verse, and you only have like it just sounds better with two guitar parts. So you just have to go with what's better. I mean, on the verses, I don't think it's such a big deal if two guitarists are playing the same thing. But if it doesn't sound as good, just like one guy just back off and have the other rhythm guitarist just play the chorus and switch off or whatever. I don't think that for an entire song through you should have two guitarists playing the same thing.
And to end this off, pretty much, I just want to give everyone an example of kind of the process we go through here. Here, Dave, you just hold the mic right up to this guitar. Now, basically, we start off with a chord progression of E minor, and then maybe we go to an A. So Now, from there, you might wonder how do I write three guitar parts over that? Well, we could always go to the major scale and play something like. Well, we're not gonna play a scale, but we can play other things over it. And you say, well, there's two guitar parts. How about three? So say you're going. And then you got a lick going with the scale, and then you have something like this going over it. Now, you see, that's kind of the process we go through. We always go into the technical stuff more often. But you see the problem we got here sometimes. It can get rough, but in the end, it's awesome. It just sounds good.
Yeah, totally. You have to perfect it. You have to perfect it, and good job. You have to perfect it and make sure that everything sounds good and that your timing's right.
Okay, thanks for listening. Hopefully, you're still listening. But thanks a lot.